right, I'm letting in the masses, all two of them. Hello, Jacob. Hello, Carol.
Hello.
So nice to see you. Carol, you have been out of commission. It's nice to see you, at least on Zoom. Okay. So Jacob, I hear that you had a meeting with Mr. Lago today?
Yes. So it went very well.
And I told Jacob, remember I told you 10% to Cheryl for the next year. And you.
Yep. That's just a subscription to get my name in the door.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, I am going to, let's get this party started. So I am going to start first by thanking you guys for being here. We are recording this, so those that weren't able to watch it from the complete beginning, they will be able to watch it later on. For all of you to know, these arts presentations are here so that we can let everybody know and understand all the different things that we have going on in Rancho Cordova. We have so many things, and there's such a large bit of the population that really doesn't know that the MAC exists, that we have art shows at City Hall, that we have all of these other things going on. So we have this little hidden gem called the CalCap Film Studio, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And I want to tell you a little bit that CalCap is located down on Horn Road, and it is where the old Mills Winery used to be. And I just love that building. It's got so much charisma. It's definitely a 70s throwback. It's located in Rancho Cordova, but if you Google it, much like the MAC, it appears in Sacramento because of its postal code. But the founder, who is with us this evening, Charles Lago, has a rich, very rich history in theater and film. He is the founder, the talent manager, and the theater producer, which the theater is right behind him. He is in the space right now, little black box theater. And he has managed a ton of actors over the years. Tom Sizemore, Doug Hutchinson, Robert Lizardo, Hot Lips Houlihan, Britt Eklund, and many, many more. We are really excited to have Charles right here in our backyard and the things that he is going to be bringing to Rancho Cordova. So without further ado, we're going to have this little discussion, and it's going to be me asking Charles some questions and Charles responding to those questions. I'm going to let Rick in, and guests will start coming in a little bit at a time. So Charles, how did you get started in this field? I mean, how'd you get started? You're on mute, Charles. There
we go. This field being the arts.
The arts and film, theater.
Okay, well, obviously I'm from England. And in England, I really only had one job, and that was I was a cop in London for like my whole life. Well, not my whole life, I'm still alive. But from 18 for 25 years. So from 18 for 25 years, I was a cop in London. And then I came out here to America in that field. And when I left the police after 25 years, in England, you have to leave after 25 years. I got into the book business, into the author touring business. So publishers would hire me to organize book tours around the country, but well, not around the country, on the West Coast. So a publisher in New York would call and say, we have so-and-so, and we'd like to do 6 cities book tour with this author, and then we would organize it. We had a company called Authors on Tour, and that then led me to theater. I got into the theater world because I've always had a love for theater. I don't really know why, but ever since I was young. And I opened a theater very similar to this one in San Diego. Well, actually, let's back. Palm Springs was the first place that I opened the Black Box Theater. But then I quickly sort of got tired of Palm Springs, even though I still lived there. But I got tired of doing the theater there because it was very limited. It's a very, back then, Palm Springs was a very seasonal town. In the summer, it died because it's so hot. Now it's a year-round resort. It's still hot, but it's just become a year-round resort. So I moved the theater to San Diego, and the theater really sort of grew. It was almost identical to this one. We had about 80 seats, and we would do a lot of programming. And whilst I was in theater, I started meeting a lot of people, obviously, in the arts and in acting. And then I got into publicity for actors, for big named actors. And I found I had a knack for it. And that then led me to management. And the very first client I had was Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. So I was his manager for a long time. And then Heidi Fleiss, the notorious Hollywood madam. And I still work with her today. Cloris Leachman, the actress Cloris Leachman, I was her manager for many, many years. She died this year. She was 93.
I was so bummed. I loved her.
And here I am. And that's how I basically got into it.
Well, a little tidbit that I didn't know is that you were a copper.
Yeah.
That is quite a circle of how you got here.
Yeah.
So what made you or got you to Rancho Cordova? What made you decide to put the CalCap Film Studio here in Rancho Cordova?
Okay, so we're actually called the California Capital Film Office. That's our main title. And managing actors also then led me into producing films. So I produced 4 independent films. The last film I did, it was called The Talking Tree. And we filmed for 3 weeks in this area. We did 1 week in Auburn, 1 week in Stockton, and 1 week in Sacramento. And when we were filming in Sacramento, I realized that there was the film office in Sacramento was basically non-existent. They now have a film commissioner, but this is back in 2018, the end of 2018. So we did the film, and Ricky Borba was the director of the film. And I said to Ricky, you know, Ricky, we should open a film office. There's obviously not a film office here. We should open one. And Ricky said, sure, whatever you want. So I went back to Palm Springs and I thought it all through. Ricky then introduced me to someone called Josh Wood. I came out, I met with Josh Wood. I told him, you know, that I wanted to open a film office. He then introduced me to various city managers, one of them being Micah Runner, who's the assistant city manager in Rancho Cordova. I met with him. They really liked the idea of the film office, and here we are. So the first thing that happened is we opened the California Capital Film Office.
And then COVID hit.
So I came to see Micah in October. No, wait a minute. It was 2019 by the time I came to see Micah, the early part of 2019, like February. They agreed that they wanted a film office. I moved to Sacramento. Well, I still live in Palm Springs, but I came here May 1 of 2019. But the city took a while, as cities do, to get through their bureaucracy. So they finally agreed on the film office in October of 2019. We opened, but then we got into Christmas and Thanksgiving and blah, blah, blah. So now we're January of 2020 and we're in full swing, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, I think it was October when I met you. You came over to check out the Mac and see what all of this was about. That was great. So I know that there are different arms and different services that you provide over at the film office. What are all the things that you guys are doing over there in terms of services?
So when we opened the film office, originally we were in Sacramento in the Arden district, but the city said, you know, if you're going to be our film office, you have to move, you have to have an office in Rancho. So we came to the Old Mills Winery where we are now, but we had a much smaller space than we have now. But very quickly, we sort of outgrew it. It was just a little too small. So an opportunity came to move into the office suite that we're in now, which is a very large suite split into two. So behind me is the theater part, the part that we're turning into a theater. As you can see, it goes all the way around. And then in front of me is our office on the other side. So we're a film office. And the film office, the mission of the film office is to attract films, television, commercials to our city and to our region in general. Once we've attracted them here, we facilitate their productions on behalf of the city. So that's our primary mission. But with that comes, you know, if a film production needs crew, we help them find crew. If they need extras, if they need locations, whatever they need, we help them find it. But then with my theater brain, I thought, you know what we could do on the other side of our space? We could open a small theater. So I thought it through. This is all through COVID. I thought it all through. And COVID gives you a lot of time to think because nothing else is going on. So all through COVID, and this space was not like this. It was a very raw space. I went to the city. They have a grant system, the Community Enhancement Grant. We applied for a grant. They gave it to us to present shows. But again, it kept, obviously, theater was non-existent. So the theater part we call CalCap Studios. So everything that we do is CalCap, California Capital. So the California Capital Film Office is on the film arm. We facilitate films. We work in the film business. CalCap Studios is the theater side, and that's where we're going to do our shows. So if someone says, what do you do? We are in the film business right now, and that's what we do.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'll have to tell you that I will invite you to, I just had a Zoom call on Monday with Matty Rich, who did his first film out of Brooklyn when he was, I think, 20. And so the show that we have coming in January, Matty is probably going to come up. We're going to screen a couple of his films here, and he's going to give a talk. So we should get together, and because he's also written a book.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So that's the great thing, is you just never know where your partners will be, because we feed off of each other in such a great way. Right. As long as you don't arrest me.
Right.
So now that we're sort of getting to the point where we're opening up, what's happening at the film office? What can we expect out of 2021?
Well, from the film office, it's not an internal thing, meaning it's not really, the work that goes on at the film office happens in the film areas, which is in quote unquote Hollywood. What is happening, what I think is more of interest, is CalCap Studio, the theater side of things. So we do have the theater part will be finished very quickly. We're finished. We're just really waiting for the fire department to come and sign off on everything. Our first show is the second week of July. So we booked a series of solo shows. Solo means one-person shows, one man, one woman shows. But politically correct, you call them solo shows. And we had 5 booked, and I found them in LA. They're all very well reviewed. They're established. But during COVID, of course, we had 6. 3 of them dropped out. So I had to replace 3 very quickly once we knew we were going to open. So the first show is the second week of July. And then we have a series of shows that'll take us through to September.
And then what is that first show?
So it's called Billie Backstage. It's a one-woman show. It's about Billie Holiday, the blues singer. The woman who plays Billie Holiday, her name is Cynthia Hardy, Cynthia with an S, Cynthia Hardy. So Billie Backstage is a 2-act, one-woman show. The first act, so we will replicate Billie Holiday backstage. She's about to do a show, and she'll be backstage with her piano player, and it's a dialogue. It's an act, they're actors. There'll be an intermission, and then the second act is Billie doing her show. So she sings, and it's live. The piano player that comes with her plays the piano. And that's what that show is. It's a very, very well-reviewed show. It's won a ton of awards, and it's played everywhere. Actually, they have it in LA every year. They play it, and it sells out. In fact, I didn't think we were going to get the show, to be honest. But I know the director of the show, and he made it possible. So she's coming. So that's our first show.
I cannot wait for that.
Now, these solo shows, we can only bring them in for one weekend. So they play Friday and Saturday, and then we do a matinee on Sunday. The second show, and I'm sorry, but I don't have the dates in front of me, but you can go to calcapstudios.com, and they're all on the website. The second show is called Tales of Modern Motherhood, and it's by a woman called Pam Levy, and she has a series of shows, one-woman shows about motherhood. She's a comedian, and the shows run the gamut of when she decides to get pregnant, when she gets pregnant and has her children, and her children grow up, and it's a trilogy. The first show that we're bringing the first one in is when her and her husband decide, are they going to have children? And it sounds very serious, but it's actually very, very funny show. Again, it's won a ton of awards. It's played LA, it's played New York, it's played everywhere. And she's coming for one weekend. Then we're going to do a play for 2 weekends. And that play is called Freeze. It's written by Richard Broadhurst, who's a famous playwright who lives in Carmichael. And Freeze is about, the set will be a looted convenience store during a riot in an inner city. And when the lights go down and the lights come back up, a cop runs in and he's injured. There's a riot. You'll hear there's a riot going on. And the cop runs in, he's injured, and he wants to hide in the convenience store. While he's in there, a few minutes later, the convenience store owner comes in. And the play revolves around them in the convenience store. Now, I can tell you that one of the actors today, I could tell you, is going to be Tom Sizemore, the actor. He's going to play the cop. Tom Sizemore is known for Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, Heat. He's a very well-known actor. Mm-hmm. And I managed him for like 12 years. The other actor, the black actor, I can't tell you who that is, but it will be someone very special. But I don't want to tell you who it is right this minute. So
I will tell you that you and I talked, and I know who that is. And I got to tell you that I saw a picture of him on prom night on a Facebook group that I follow, San Francisco Remembered, and it was priceless.
Right.
Very good.
So then we'll do that for 2 weekends. And then the last show is called Wild Son. And it's about Christian Brando, who's Marlon Brando's son. And Christian Brando is the troubled son of Marlon Brando. And it's a one-man show. John Meese is the actor who plays it. And he knew Christian Brando. And it's a one-man show about him. So that's the first series of shows that we have.
That sounds great.
Now, the other thing that we have is we formed an improv group called the Cordova Players. And they actually have been rehearsing. And Danielle Mercado, who runs Hummingbird Theater Group, she's kind of the artistic director of the improv group. And every other Tuesday, they'll be doing shows here. So the Cordova Players. And improv can be a lot of fun. And they're good. In fact, I think the Cordova Community Council really helped us push out the audition notices. And we got a lot of people that audition. And we have about 20 members.
That is exciting. You know, a lot of people, I think they're going to be really bummed that they're missing out on hearing this firsthand. But there's another little thing that Charles and I have been working on, and that's a documentary film festival. And the MAC has agreed to be a viewing site. So Charles, can you talk a little bit about what the progress on that is?
So when we opened the film office, part of our mandate with the film office was to organize a couple of film festivals. The one that I can do very quickly, because I was involved in the formation of the Palm Springs Documentary Film Festival several years ago, is a documentary film festival. And they always say that if you do your passion, you're going to do it well. And in film, even though I make films, and I've made films for the Hallmark Channel, a Lifetime, my real passion in films are documentaries. So we are having it's a long title. It's the first annual California Capital Documentary Film Festival. It'll be on October 14, 15, 16, and 17. We're going to have about 50 films. We have 30 confirmed so far. I would definitely encourage people to go to the website. And I'm blanking on the name of the website, but I'll get it in a second. Nick, can you get me the name of the website? And if you click on the film tab on the website, you'll see the films that we have confirmed. And if you click on each film, then you can watch the trailer of the film. We're going to have 4 viewing locations. So obviously Rancho Cordova does not have movie theaters. So it's a little difficult to do it in a movie theater. So we are going to make 2 screening locations at the Marriott in Rancho Cordova. So we're going to take over their grand ballroom. The grand ballroom splits into 3 parts. So on the left side is 1 screening room. In the middle will be like a reception check-in room. And on the right will be another screening room. The MAC will be another screening room upstairs at the MAC. Rancho Cordova City Hall, the council chambers is going to be a screening room. And we're still looking for the 4th. And we are definitely getting, like, do you see my hair? I'm going to lose the rest of it if we don't get another screening room soon.
I will keep my eyes and ears peeled.
And it's going to be fun. And I'm telling you, we have some really good films. If you check out the website, go through. The films that we have are all a year or less. They're all brand new documentaries. Wow. We have about 15 international documentaries from all over the world. And the rest are American or British. Or they're in British language, I should say. Some notables would be the guy Peter Funt, who started Candid Camera. Mm-hmm. So one film is called Mr. Candid Camera. It's about him. And today I spoke to them and I think he's coming. There's a documentary about Trini Lopez, the singer. My Name is Lopez. We have that film. Let me think of some other notables. We have a couple of really good political films. check the website.
Yeah.
And they're all, the ones that are on the website are all confirmed.
Oh, that's great. This
Charles,
is an amazing lineup.
just trying to find the. Oh,
Hang on.
go ahead. Sorry.
Nick?
I was just trying to find the website and I was not able to locate it to put it in the chat. So if you could find that for us so we can check it out, that would be really helpful.
Never mind. I got it here. Hang on. Give me a second. It's all right, Nick. Okay. There's so many CalCaps that I forget.
I don't blame you. Well,
I'm determined to get that to you while we're here.
and I think that when you have the diversity that you have with books and films and, you know, documentary film festivals and different things, I think that people will be very,
Sorry.
people will be very excited to know that all of this exists in their backyard.
Yeah. I'm getting you the website.
Okay. So what kind of partnerships are you looking for going forward in the future? Are there types of people or organizations that can help you be more successful?
I mean, you know, we're a Rancho Cordova entity, so really anything, but obviously anybody in the art. So I think, to be honest, I think our biggest partners are going to be Cordova Community Council and the MAC. calcapdogfest.org. So
Did you get that, Lydia?
calcapdogfest.org.
I'll put it in the chat.
Going back to the partners would be obviously the MAC, Cordova Community Council. The city of Rancho Cordova is very important. And any other sort of entertainment group. I think I haven't had any dealings with the orchestra yet, but I think that's someone we could do something with. We're already partnered with Hummingbird. That's a good partnership. We're partnered with a couple of the breweries, and not for drinking purposes, but for promotional purposes. And I'm open to, you know, I've only been here a year, so I'm open to all sorts of suggestions.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that it's so weird how people can sort of come into your life when you reach out to somebody to talk about something and the conversation takes a little bit of a left turn and they're like, hey, have you ever heard of? And well, you know what, let me send an email and introduce the two of you. And that's what happened last week when I went to book a show. And she said, I need to introduce you to this filmmaker in Los Angeles. So yeah, you never know where that's going to come from. So are you needing volunteers there?
Well, we're certainly going to need volunteers for the film festival. And we're going to need quite a few volunteers for that because each screening location is going to need someone there. We're going to need volunteers to pick up the filmmakers and bring them to the various places. Volunteers here at the theater space, I think we could probably use a couple. They get to see every show. So, but yeah, I think volunteers are always good. It's a great way, you know, volunteers have friends. So it's a great, if you have 10 volunteers, they say for every person, there's another 6. So if you have 10 volunteers, that's 60 people that get to know about you.
Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer in that. And finding those people that can be stewards for the arts is kind of what this is all about, is creating more people to know about what we're doing so that they can find their passion and jump in to something that they have been longing for, that's been missing. So what kind of assistance would you like to see from the community itself, other than volunteering? Is there anything?
I mean, we're still thinking it all through. Well, they can come to the shows. That'll be a great thing. That would definitely show that we're doing. That one, I'm still thinking all that through.
Do you have a Facebook page or social media, Charles?
It's the same, CalCap Studios on Facebook, on Instagram. I mean, really, I just drive everybody to CalCap Studio. So with
Okay.
the website for the theater is calcapstudios.com. And on that, the links to the social media are on there.
Perfect. Well, I will definitely make a concerted effort to put that both in Instagram and Facebook and blast it out to the wide variety of 27 different groups community groups that I belong to.
That's actually something, what was your question? What assistance?
From the community.
That would be a great one, to keep pushing out the social media, because social media is it today. When I had my theater in Palm Springs and in San Diego, social media really was not existing. If you wanted to promote something, you did it the hard ways. You made flyers and you took the flyers around. You made posters and you took the posters. The websites were there, but not elaborate how they are today. But social media really is it. So that would be a great thing. Share.
Well, I will tell you that one of your best places to do a flyer is right across the street from you at the library. I get so many people that come into the MAC and say, "Oh, I saw your flyer at the library."
Right. Yeah.
And Lydia is happy to put it up in the kiosks at Village Green because she is the kiosk queen.
Absolutely.
The kiosk at Village Green, what is that?
So we have 4 different kiosks that are closed cabinets where we put flyers.
Oh, okay.
One is right by Lowe's, one is right by US Bank, one is right by the Wingstop and Starbucks, and then one is right by, what is it, that sushi place? In between Noodles and the sushi place, there's one there too.
Near City Hall, that way?
Yeah, so it's all in that Village Green Center.
Okay.
And they get a good view because typically there are 4 sides to each one of those, so.
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. We're working on all that material right now.
Well,
And
anytime.
And that's why I don't know things, as they say, I have people. So Bryce does all the graphics and everything, Nick who's here. So I have to keep asking. I'm like the general at the battlefield. They never get their hands dirty. They just stand in the back and everybody else gets their hands dirty. So.
Well, you can tell the troops that they can send all forms of collateral to me.
No, I'll make sure, for sure.
Does anybody have some questions for Charles? Really?
Well, there's nobody here, Cheryl.
Oh, come on, there's Carol. Rick's left the building, but I can't tell you that I am super excited about this. Okay. And we are recording, so this will go on the MAC Facebook page and it will live in infamy on our YouTube channel, which I will then also link to randomly.
Okay.
And I will link it to my personal page, which I have right around 1,300 followers.
Okay, perfect. I want to know what that is, that image there.
Who knows? With Rick, I try not to ask.
Yeah, I'm looking for the snake. Oh.
And that's Rebecca.
Okay.
His wife.
The snake is going to crawl up there.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
So, Charles, I don't have a question per se, but I do have a shameless plug to make. Okay. And that is that should we be able to do it would be the 3rd of July parade, which, in America is our Independence Day. Well, the 4th of July is our Independence Day. If you wanted to advertise for the show you have the week after that, it might be a great opportunity to participate in that parade. So if we're able to do that, we'll send you information, and then we can tell you how, if you're interested in getting involved in that. That might be a really great opportunity to engage a lot of people.
Yeah.
And where does that take place? Where is that?
It takes
So
place.
it's on Coloma Road between McGregor and Chase Drive. So kind of by Mills Middle School, near Cordova High. I don't know if you know where.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people go to that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's only 1.25 miles long. So
Okay.
it's not a 3-hour parade, and a lot of people, they line both sides of the streets.
And who's parading?
It's Cordova Community Council.
No, but
runs-
who's in the parade?
Oh, lots of community organizations, marching bands.
You.
And you.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of youth groups. It's actually, I want to say that we didn't have one last year, but 2 years ago we had 103 registrants. So we have to, enough that we have to park them in 3 separate locations to come out on the street. It's quite an ordeal.
Okay. So I've just thought, just to digress for a minute. So Rick Sloan, that's who that is, right?
That's the real Rick Sloan.
And that's Rebecca Sloan. Are you related to Rebecca Sloan?
Wife.
Okay. And we've met then. You've been here. You try to figure out.
Yes, I have, Charles. I have been there, and
I saw your name pop up and I thought, now, why do I know that name? And the whole time I've been sitting here, I've been racking and it just came to me.
I came and I saw Ed Asner.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a little different today to when you saw it, as you can see.
Yeah, my wife kicked off a community theater program funded by the city at Cordova High, and they did a Shakespeare play. You remember what it was? Sure, I was drawing a blank. It was
actually, I do remember Rebecca telling me that.
right. Yeah, and it was like they had like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to get this play down. And these kids are, high school seniors. Some of them were 22-year-olds, 20-year-olds. They had to come out and learn Old English and Shakespeare. And that, is not easy, Charles. It's like a different language.
It is.
But they really pulled it off, and they pulled it off well.
Right.
And we just needed to have more time to promote it, I think, and longer. It was only ran for, I think, 3 performances.
Right. Okay.
And I will tell you that everything you do, Charles, you should submit to Sacramento 365.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know about them. The publicity side, that's how I started out, really. Like before I really got into it, we were a PR company. But, it's, we're getting there.
Well, we're very excited to have you. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to speak with us. And I can't wait to work with you.
Okay. Well, thank you.